Hello, how you doing? Sorry about that, folks. My internet went down again. Oh, it's so bloody annoying. I've just got off the phone with them. I was in a conversation. Oh dear, it's so frustrating. We are back on now. I'm just doing a speed test yeah, I had to switch it off because I was on a call. Yeah, it's nowhere near. It's supposed to be a gigabit. It's supposed to be over about 950. So it just died. It did the same yesterday. So it's just damn well frustrating. I've just got on the phone and had a right moan at them. Just a good job I wasn't in a trade. It's ridiculous. They're going to have to sort this out quick, otherwise I'm going to have to can them. Yeah, I was just on a live stream and then it just cut out. Oh, it's so annoying. So annoying. Gonna say, I think my internet has gone off once since I've been streaming. Since I've had this new provider, it's gone off twice in 2 days. Can everybody hear okay now, yeah? Are we back on? Everybody can hear me okay? Can someone just put something in the chat? Yeah, excellent. Okay. So, oh god, there's nothing worse than having flipping Wi-Fi. It's not even Wi-Fi; it's hardwired. So, oh well. Okay, so what's going on here? I'm not picking tops. I'm not too good at it, so I'm just gonna have to sit out this one. Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating. Thank God I wasn't in a trade. I mean, the beauty is I can go online on my phone and just get rid of it, really, but it's so annoying. So they may phone me back at some point. There was a guy I spoke to yesterday when it went off yesterday, Tom, so hopefully he'll give me a ring back at some point. So, fortunately, we're stuck in this range at the moment. You can't really trade this, in all fairness, 2-4. It's about 6 points from top to bottom, so just going to have to sit and wait on this. Yeah, I'm just staying out of this. It's risky, that is. It has triggered, but I'll be shocked if that doesn't stop out. We got a leg up and a break. It's risky. Yeah, sorry if anybody's just hooked up. My internet went again. Just dropped for, it was off about 2 or 3 minutes, I think. Okay, so if you did take, well, that bar or possibly that bar, both have triggered, so I don't know whether they're going to work or not, but it's just too risky for me in all fairness. Okay, I'm just going to take a quick few-minute break just to make a quick cup of tea. It's going a bit sideways here, so. So, just going to pop that there. I'll be 5 minutes, quick cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay. Let's remove that. So, let's see what the hell's going on. So we need to figure out, is he going to come down here? So I pushed him. 1, 2, 3. Is he going to come down?
Order submitted.
There is a second entry short.
Order filled.
See if it comes and gets me yet. And I'm just going to come out here. What's that one?
Target filled.
Okay, what did that give me? 1.5. Okay. In all fairness, it didn't look great on there, but it looked better on the... so let's make sure everything's closed down. Oh, you are shitting me. Oh, my fucking Christ. Excuse my French, folks. It's all right. It didn't work on all of them. I didn't add the... It's all right. I should have checked. I didn't have the Flowbots on. Replicanto on. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about my language. That's what's its fault, that is. Damn. Okay, that's a shame. Let me just...
Order submitted.
So they're all back on. I should have checked
Order cancelled.
Damn. 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 Okay, so... Oh, that's frustrating. So, second entry short on the 2000 tick chart. Sorry, on the 1000 tick chart. So I'm just going to drag this in quickly. We had a channel down there, second entry short, pushed up, came down. I kind of like that. I expected to come out. We held under that line, so I expected to come down. So I took that one. And frustratingly enough, don't be frustrated. It's just the fact that because my internet went down, when I signed back up, logged back in, I never opened Replicanto. Usually Replicanto opens itself, and it didn't for some reason, or I never reset it, so that's frustrating. I've just lost $450. Well, that's what I would have made. God, that's so annoying. Oh, that's so annoying. So annoying. It sucks, but it's okay, yeah. I suppose on the bright side, if it wouldn't have worked, I'd have only lost a certain amount, but... Yeah, so... Okay, so... There's a channel going down there. I was pretty sure we were going to come down anyway and redress the lower levels. So, leg and a leg. So, I'm going to put an error there, but it's... From anybody who just comes in and doesn't know I traded on the 1000 tick chart, is probably going to look at that and think, what the hell am I doing? But on the 1000 tick chart, as it shows, we got a leg down, second entry short. But I like the fact that we've pushed up there and pushed up again, and then it did drop pretty quickly. So what was the risk there? So it was a 2.25 point risk. Tick below, tick below, tick below, tick above. So what I'll have to do is I might type something on the screen there, in all fairness. So let's have a look. At least you have a setup. I don't have a second entry on my chart. Yeah, it was a nice second entry on the... yeah, I'll open it fully. It makes it a bit more... What's it? I like that. So we've had this leg down, bunch of sideways. I was watching patterns on something the other week, and we came down, we went up once, we made 2 attempts to go higher. Yeah. So that's almost like a panda. Not the panda, the, what's his name? The penguin guy. We had a leg down, we made 2 attempts to go higher, we failed, and we came down. So that was like a panda. Why do I keep saying panda? A penguin. Yeah, leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, both up the top, failure, came down. We popped out the bottom, came back in, and that bar dropped pretty quickly. All those have closed down below there. Now, bearing in mind, it doesn't look good there, but on the 1,000 tick chart, it does look a lot better. Now, that's the benefit of having the 1,000 tick chart. And although I'm frustrated, I could have had an extra $450 because them prats that made my internet go down, it is showing me that there are some setups available on the 1,000 that aren't on the... So that's so annoying. Just make it a black arrow. That's not a bad idea, actually. Black or a different colour. Because what I'm probably going to have to do is post the 2,000 tick chart, aren't I? Black arrow, you reckon? Okay, let's go for a black arrow. I'll tell you what. No, can't go blue. I've done blue already. Okay, let's go for a black arrow. White's not going to work, is it? Okay, black arrow. So traded it. Let's. Oh, I'm so annoyed about that. Oh, that would have given me an extra 300. Was it 3? Another 3. $450. Ooh, that's annoying. So second entry short. Second entry short on the one. Okay, but on the upside, at least this may now give me options to find trades that, I mean, you wouldn't have taken a trade there, would you? But on the 2,000 tick chart, sorry, the 1,000, I like the way it pushed up above the EMA and then dropped quickly, but it tells me there was some sells up there. What's 300 when you're going to make $1 million? You've got a lot of faith in me, mate. I like that. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things. But on the upside, just by trading the 1,000 tick chart, I'm $142 up after fees. So now, if I would have been trading the 2,000 tick chart, I wouldn't have had that. So let's look upon that as a bonus. That puts my accounts around about $8,000. So risk is lower. Yeah, that's the good thing as well. The risk is lower. It was a bit confusing what I was going for because I was glancing on the both, to be honest with you. But once we broke out, I expected to come down because we've had this leg down. We've had a couple of attempts to go lower. So I think it was fair we could, get down here. But we actually came down to there, which was kind of nice, actually. So as far as I'm concerned, you could. Let's put that there for now. So we've touched there. So there's 2 touches there and 1 touch there. So, but yeah, in fact, the ATR at the moment on the 1,000 tick chart is 1.5, which is what it was most of the week before last. It went higher last week. Feels like real money for me. That certainly does, because I would have had an extra $450, $430 after fees or whatever. But at the end of the day, at least I feel like I'm getting options now to find more setups. Just need to sort this bloody internet out. Blippy. Yes and no. Put it this way, if I put my own money in there, I'll have been absolutely bloody livid now. But the fact that it's money I'm making out of thin air, if you like, then yeah, it doesn't feel as bad. But what I will say is, if I wouldn't have had the 1,000 tick chart up, I wouldn't have had that now. So there we go. Okay, so we got a leg up and a higher low. In other words, that higher low, and I've heard Max say this, it's a lot of people say it's a higher low. It is higher low, but to trade it as a higher low, it's gone too far. Higher low really needs to be, needs to be that bar there from there, but when it pushes right the way up, it's gone too far for a higher low. Mind you, I suppose it depends how you judge it. It should really matter on how you see it. I mean, if you take a trade like that, it works, but for me, it's risky, that is. And that says it all. That'll stop out that. A really good quality higher low is that if there are any newbies there and they don't know what a higher low is, higher lows don't look any better than that. 1, 2, 3 touches on that channel. Perfect. 1, 2. Not only is it a two-legged correction, it's a perfect measured move. And then we push up above the EMA, pull back, and then push up and end up on its high. That's a higher low. It's a perfect one, that is. I never got that on the 1,000 tick chart. So just on Friday, there was 2 trades that weren't available on the 2,000 tick chart. And today there's one available, one that wasn't available on the 2,000 tick chart. So just by Friday and today, that's 3 trades. That's a massive difference, that is. So it's a case of trading them both, I think, or maybe moving to the 1,000. I'll see if by the end of the week I've taken 8 trades on this 1,000 tick chart and only 2 of them were available on the 2,000 tick chart. For me, it's a no-brainer. I switch over. You know, at the end of the day, trading's about making money. And if I'm struggling to find setups and not make money on the 2,000, then but it is about adapting to the, different challenges, different scenarios. So leg. I wonder if we are going to come down here. I think it's quite possible. So let's just draw a measured leg. There. So I think if we can break below these again, I expect to come down there. Let's get that out of the way. Leg down. 1, 2 legs of correction. I expect to come down for sure. The only thing is, if we do get a lower high there, I'm not shorting that this close. Now, although I think it's going to go down, I can't short into that bottom because it may come down, stop you out, and then work down. There may be a bigger channel working at some point. It's only really hit twice, but the way it fits there, I think it's likely we may have something like that, but obviously I want it to come down a bit further and maybe get over to here and confirm it, but I think it's possible. And funnily enough, leg down, 2 legs of correction, this measured move. Well, you can see, can't you, leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. It does look like we're going to get another leg down here. And if we do come down here, it's feasible we could end up fitting in a channel like that. But just for now, I'm just going to get rid of it and stick with the small stuff for now. So there is a failure on the 1,000, but it's risky in my opinion, although it might look like it's starting to work. Yes, it's going to work. I'm just going to drag this in quickly. That's what I'm looking at there. Try to go once, try to go twice. I like the fact that it's triggered that. I'd expect it to come down. I'm not taking it because it's clearly congested, but if it gets below there, which I think it will, then I think we're going to come down. So let's just... it's too congested to take because it might stitch you up, but there's 2 points. So we've bounced off it. In fact, I'd have probably gone for a bit less than there, maybe the bodies, because it is a bit, you can see that, can't you? So, but let's leave it there for now. I still expect it to come down. We got a leg down. But yeah, I thought there may be. I like the way it triggered that bar there. So let's stick it back out of the way for now. I'll tell you if it works anyway. I wouldn't have taken it because it's just congested. The 2 points is just above 77, which is down here somewhere. Yeah, that area of congestion that I just pointed out in the 1,000 is that bit there. And that big push down, and then there was actually two attempts to push up there. So I'd say absolutely this is going to work. Came down to 77 and touched it. I'd have probably been out there because I'd have come out probably at the bottoms. Do you know, sometimes, depending on whether we're going to come down, I like to put mine at the body there. That seems to work a lot more. So many times it'll trigger in between there and there, but it won't hit the bottom. Maybe a possible second entry short. Trouble is, there's such a lot of well, I say a lot. 2 touches there, a touch there. There is, you know, this is clearly the bottom at the moment, so second entry short here would be risky, although I do think it's coming down. There may be a second entry forming on the 2000 tick chart. It looks like it, but it doesn't change the fact that we're close to that bottom, so I don't really want to go short into that. I prefer that to break out, come back. That's the type of short I'd take there when we push up from here. Okay, so that one that I mentioned, the failure on the 2000 tick chart, went for 2 points, but it would have got stopped out. But I didn't take it. It's just congested. Hey DJ, how you doing? Long time no see. How's your good lady? Is she still around? You guys still trading? I've missed you guys. In fact, I've started drinking a lot more single malt because you've left. No, I hope you guys are okay. Are you still trading? Doing great, thanks. We're still trading. Good for you. Good on you. I'm just trading the 1000 tick chart as well. In fact, it's above my head. I don't know if you've listened to me talking about it, but there was a second entry short there which I liked, and it was testing the bottom of this, which is why, that's part of the reason I took it, is because it was testing this. Then we pushed up and dropped quickly. So for me, that was the way down. The frustrating thing is, about 30 minutes ago, my internet went down for a second. And in fact, we may be pushing up. My internet went down and I restarted it. I never reset the trade copier. So when I took that trade there, I only got $150 instead of bloody 4 of them. So that's frustrating. Trading time, how are you? How are we doing? So yeah, I don't know if anybody is missed out, but I'm trading two charts, the 1,000 and the 2,000. There seems to be more setups on the 1,000 at the moment. So whether that will continue or not, I'm not sure. So we've got a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. That might be the way down. So we toasted to you the other night. Did you really? Excellent. What have I got at the moment? I opened a Bunner Bar the other day, short fat bottle, and I just finished before that 14-year-old Jura. And I'll be getting myself a nice one this weekend. My sister's coming up to visit with her husband. He's interested in trading as well. So when you speak to him, you can just chat trading. And we're going to my brother's house for the weekend for a big barbecue. So I'll be buying some sort of nice bottle. So I'm thinking I had a look at the 10-year-old. What is it? Another peated one. What's it called? I've gone blank. I forget. There was an 8-year-old Lagavulin I was looking at, and there was the 10-year-olds. They do a 5-year-old one they call the Wee Beastie. I can't think what it's called. My head's gone blank at the moment. It'll come to me. So I'll be buying myself one of those for the weekend, and I dare say there's a good chance we may get through it between a few of us. So I forget what it's called. There's a 5-year-old Wee Beastie it's called. I forget. Peated one from Islay. So I do like my Islay whiskies, I must say. Yeah, trading time. What I'll do quickly, I'll just drag this in. I'm looking at the moment, but Friday I traded for 5 hours and never took a trade. So what I'll show you now is the 2,000 tick chart. So have a quick look at this, and I'll bring the other one side by side. This is the 2,000 and the 1,000, okay? You can see both exactly the same area on a Friday. So look at the one on the left. There's the 2,000 tick chart with no setup. One on the right, higher low. Higher lows do not look any better than that. We've clearly got a channel. We've had a break of a channel in the form of a perfect measured move and a two-legged correction and then a push up. Here, 3 green bars, no setup. On the right, higher low. That's as good as a higher low looks. And that was perfect. And that went for about, I don't know, 7 points, 6 points, something like that. But just the difference. So I scanned for a few more of the days as well. And funnily enough, I'm seeing 2 extra in the day at least that you wouldn't trade. Now, I wouldn't normally trade that. But on the 1,000, if I dragged the 1,000 in quickly in less, just in case anybody hasn't seen it, we pushed down in this lovely fitting channel. We had 2 legs up, a second entry short. As that pushed up, it dropped quickly. And not only that, it's clearly bouncing off the bottom. So for me, that was a way down. Ended on its low and then came down, and the rest is history. But that was available on the 1,000, which wasn't on the 2,000 tick chart. So I am so frustrated about that. My internet went down, and for some reason, my Replicanto didn't. Well, it started, but it went back to sim, and it didn't highlight those. So instead of having the $142, instead of having $442, I had the one, which is a bit frustrating. But there you go. Shit happens. Yeah. And another one quickly. I'll show you another one quickly. Let's have a look. I'll have to keep an eye on this. This was the other one I looked at. And this one. So, let's move them over. So, you can see the difference, can't you? Little channel. Yeah. Nice channel there. Fits nice. No setup there. Second entry short there. Yeah. Little push up. Come down, break below, another push up, nice bearish bar, came down beautifully, yeah. You can see the difference, can't you? So there's no setup there. This gives you more detail. In fact, for every bar on here, as we can work out, if you're doing simple maths, there you get 2 for your price of 1. So there's 2 trades on Friday I saw. So it's a no-brainer for me. Sometimes when conditions are tough and there are less setups around, and in my opinion, and most others. In fact, Brant, didn't you even say last week? Last week was probably the toughest week you'd seen, and I tend to agree. So if conditions are tough and you're not finding trades, what do? Sometimes you just got to improvise, overcome and adapt. And there you go. So I thought I'd have both charts because obviously I want to keep my 2000 tick chart up for you guys, because it's also feasible you might get a setup on the 2000 but not on the 1000. So having both up doubles your chance. And at the end of the day, I'm quite happy finding one good setup for 2 points per day, and that will give me more money than I can hope for. If you can get one nice setup per day, 2 contracts, that's $1,000. It's $4,000 a month. Hell, if you even earn $3,000 a month, you could pay yourself $1,000 per account and let the other $1,000 ride and start to build, and then eventually scale up. So, leg down, 2 attempts to go higher, failure. Excuse me a second, it's my internet provider. Okay, I'll tell you what, the mind boggles. The reason it went off is because they shut it off to make changes. Nice of them to let me know. Okay, so now I did draw this earlier. There is a possibility of a larger channel down there. It's a bit early to tell at the moment, so come down. Yeah, my internet went off. They shut it off because they're making some changes to it because I'd had some problems with it. Really nice of them to inform me, isn't it? Some people have got no brains, have they? So anyway, okay, everyone can hear me okay? Everything looks okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so everything's working as it should. Let me just double check.
Order submitted.
Yeah, okay. That should be about there. Yeah, brilliant.
Order cancelled.
Okay. Lance, instead of watching a smaller time frame, have you considered watching multiple markets instead? I myself will go crazy if I don't take at least 3 trades a day, but I only aim for the best. Okay, interesting. The NQ just had a perfect second entry. Now, quick question. Normally, we just trade one, and the reason being is because it's quite fast moving. And obviously, you've got to be on form Now, I feel okay trading two at the same time because it's just a case of glancing up and I'm more or less seeing the same picture, but just a few extra bars. So I get what you're saying. Absolutely. It's certainly something to look into. So what I'm going to do for now, I'm just going to trade these two time frames this week. And I'm going to see how I get on. And if I find it works okay, then it's an option. I just don't know whether I might get confused. Do you know what I mean? Multiple. At least I know I'm trading exactly the same market, just a slightly different time frame. So certainly the two I think I could handle. I'm not sure whether I could handle any more. So I think it's a bit of trial and error, Bud. But I absolutely, I'm glad you made a note of that you do it. Because I think it's something to, I'm quite happy. Put it this way, if you said to me, you can have one guaranteed winning trade a day, every single day, I'd be the happiest bloke alive. But at the moment, I've been struggling. I think I had two days last week where I never saw a trade. Now, on the one hand, I'm pleased that that my patience will allow me to sit there for 5 hours without a trade. That's a good trait to have, and it's something I've had to build. But yeah, I know what you're saying. So I'm going to see how I get on with these two for the week. And if this works okay, then maybe. But if I can get a couple of trades a day with the two of them, I'm quite okay with that. Maybe as I don't want to push my lucks, but I'll give it a go. But I appreciate your comment, bud. So you trade second entry short and the RYT and the YM. What's the RYT and the YM? RYT. RYT, I'm not sure what they are off the top of my head. I'm sure I've heard of them, but the RYT and YM. The Russell, okay. And the Dow, okay. The Dow, so, okay, RYT makes sense, Russell, doesn't it? But YM, the Dow? Okay, that's fair enough. The other indices, yeah. I mean, there are enough out there, aren't they? I even, at one point, thought about the Nikkei, because the Nikkei is in the Asian market, and that sort of time frame, I think, will be my evening, I think. Is that right in saying? Or morning? I don't know. The good thing about the different indices at the various places around the world is there's a market for everyone. Obviously, I'm UK, so normal time for the ES, normal, general market time is 2:30 for me. So I do have time in the morning, whereas obviously US, it is morning for you guys. So it does look like we are now coming down below here. I like that. So that tells me, I think the chance of coming down to this measured leg, I think the chance of it's pretty high. But it's just finding an entry. So if we can get a second entry short, maybe retest somewhere here, then that might be an option. Let me just check everything's working as it should.
Order submitted.
Yeah, okay, because it'd be a shame to
order cancelled.
Miss out. I ended up missing out on $450 because when my internet went down, I forgot to check the Replicanto. That's frustrating. Okay. I still think we're going to come down. There's a leg and a leg there, I think. We're still short of that, so we could come down even on those. So we've got a leg down, two legs of correction, another leg down. So I still expect to come down. So let's see if we can find a trade on one of these time frames. Okay, so we've got a first entry on the 1,000 tick. Coming down too low, that's the problem. Let's just blow out and have a quick look at what's going on there. Let's just check this large channel, see if there is one. Yeah, I'm not massively convinced at the moment. There's a failed second entry short on the 1,000 tick. No setup on either. I'm pretty sure it's coming down. Just no setup, unfortunately. There's a possible failure on the 1,000. Second entry long, big bullish bar. Trouble is, it doesn't look like it's in a hurry to come down after it's triggered it. It's a bit congested for me. I'm just going to drag the 1,000 in quickly. You can see it there. Second entry long, which is triggered, and it's also a failure. I like the idea of that, but it's a bit congested, so that makes the trade a bit more risky. So probably going to stay out of this. It's actually trying to push up, in all fairness, so which is strange. I'm surprised because it is continually looping down. That failure's still holding on the 2000, but in all fairness, it's just congested. So I have a feeling that's going to get stopped out. I think if it gets to 76, it's going to stop that out. So it's hard to say. If it gets below this here, it'll stop out that big green bar on the 2000, which it has on the 1000 tick chart. Okay. So that failure would have worked. Let me have a look. How much for, though? So far, a couple of points. Sorry, 1.5. Let's put it at 2 points and see if it would have worked. Yeah, it's going. Yeah, we're below there now. See, there's no reason for it to come back up now. I kind of like the idea at the moment. The ATR is 1.55 on the 1000 tick chart. I like the idea of a 1.5 profit. Actually, seems about right. And if I'd have had a 1.5, it would have worked. It's not to say it's not going to, but okay, it's working. Once we get down here a little bit, below here, that would have worked for 2 points. I'll be surprised if it doesn't now. We're clearly getting lower and lower. I think it'll drop relatively speedily in a minute. Interesting. So far, each top is lower than the previous. Yeah, this could be trapping some shorts here. It's going to bring the 1000 in at the moment. There's not much in the way there, but the 1000, there may be some shorts there. There's more likely to be some shorts there. So it could just rack up now and take out. I thought we may get a bearish bar then. That may continue down, but we're still getting lower lows. That's the one I looked at. It's a second entry long which is triggered, but it actually stopped out below there, so that's it. Would have taken it out, but you can clearly see why I didn't take it. It's clearly, I mean, yeah, it's a failure. It's a second entry long, but it's not nice. It's clearly congested. You know, the thought is coming down, but the trouble is when it's congested, it just makes things so much more riskier. And it was a good choice staying out of it. There was no doubt about it, actually. There was no maybe should, maybe I should. It was just clearly not good enough. I still expect it to fall. Still expect it to come down. These measured legs are so damn accurate, and for me, it's clearly, in fact, at some point, I think we're going to have to look at a channel. Let's just join these two up and see where we come to. Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm quite happy that that's somewhere near. So, maybe a spike in channel. Let me just fade these colours out a bit. So, spike and channel. So let's take it right from there. Touch here. Touch here. Take that down a fraction. So they say it's got to touch 3 times. So once, twice. I mean, to be fair, it's not difficult. Well, no, it is actually, but let's just take that over there. Yeah, I mean, to me, that's a channel working down. I wouldn't say it's 100%, but it's kind of working. So sometimes I take these things with a pinch of salt. Are you done? Are you? Take it easy, bud. Take it easy. Take it easy. Yeah, it's still a bit sideways, and it's even more sideways on the 1000. I do expect it to come down, but a lot of the times it'll just go sideways, sideways, sideways till we get a really good looking bearish bar right in the right place. And that's then when I mean, if we come from this spike, we touched here, we touched here. I mean, if you look here, it's sort of working in that tier, isn't it? So whether we'll push up and come to here and then maybe go short, or whether we'll get a second entry short, nice bearish bar there. It's hard to say really, but for me at the moment, we're clearly, well, right from, what time was that? About 3 o'clock UK time. So for the last 2 hours, we've been coming down. So I like the fact that we've broken this, and it does look like we're retesting it. So possible second entry short. I'll wait for the higher low. Leg and a leg on the 1000. Okay, so far so good. Nice looking bar there. Second entry short. If that does finish bearish, I'm going to wait for the lower high, because we've had a break and a new low, just in case, because there still is the possibility it could push back into this range and start going sideways, and that just might be nothing more than a failed breakout. And by the way, it's judging by how it's pushing in there, there is a higher low there, but the trouble is it's risky going into that lot, because obviously it's got support there. So let's see what Uncle Max got us. Oh, shoot. Okay. Okay, yeah, Max way out of Max finished here. So, yeah, he's got it pretty much the same as I have. There's no other way you can do it there. That's the only thing he's got slightly different is he's got that there with that. But his is cut off here, so that's no good to us now anyway. So. Sorry for the request, but can you explain second entry? I've tried to understand on other channels, but I'm still second entry. Okay. The easiest way is to bring down the 10,000 tick chart. So this trade I took there as a second entry. So this is our, let's see if I explain it well. Okay, so we've got a channel working down there. Now, when you have a break of a channel, usually we have what they call a new extreme or a new low. So if we're going down, we usually break these lows. And vice versa, if we're pushing up and we have a break, we'll usually make a new high. So in this case, we're looking to make a new low. So we had a channel down and we had a break of it. Now, we pushed up and these two bars gave us our first entry. Yeah, and then we pushed up again. When that bar triggers below there, it's a second entry. So basically, up, back, and up. Does that make any sense? But first entry, because it's the first time, you can sort of see, can't you? I don't explain things very well, but there's the first entry, and when that bar breaks below there, that's a second entry. So it's basically two attempts to go higher. So we're coming down. Usually buyers will make two attempts to push the market back up. And then when we fail below there, we come back down. So that's probably as easy as I can explain it. But just study that pattern and try and work it out. But we've had a channel down, we've had a break of it, we've made two attempts to go higher, and we've come down. So that's where I took my second entry. So there's the first entry with that bar. And as soon as that bar breaks below there, it's the second entry. So I hope that's made sense. It does take you a bit of getting your head around it initially, I must say. But with time, it will come. So, I think the market's trying to push back up there. We'll soon find out whether it holds here or not and comes back down. But yeah, it does take a bit, Gabriel, of getting your head around it initially. But it does take time. If you're learning, if you want to learn to trade, or you're not a trader or whatever, most of us on this on this stream have traded through Max price action trading system. Now, I recommend him first and foremost because it's $125 per year. That's peanuts. You can spend a lot of money learning to trade. And his website is priceactiontradingsystem.com. He's a lovely guy, but if you want to get a feel for who he is, just look on YouTube. Just type Price Action Trading System on YouTube, and he's got over 2,000 videos going back 12 years. And he does a bar-by-bar analysis Monday to Thursday on the day's trading. And you can listen to him and get a feel for him, see what you think. But it's $125 per year. And he taught me to trade amongst many others. So I highly recommend him. And in all honesty, if you are learning to trade, $125 for a year is so cheap. So that's my recommendation anyway. Okay, so far so good. We're holding here. I thought there was a possibility we may, whether we will break up there. I do get a feeling it is trying to push up, so it may just turn into a range day with the exception of this. You know, it does look like we're moving down, but we've had a break out of this and we're pushing back in. So whether it holds or whether it collapses and we drop back down, I got no idea. So this was the last little channel. We've had a break at a new low. So we haven't broken this yet. Now that depends on whether you think this is a channel. It may not be. In fact, in all fairness, I think it's probably better to, yeah, scrub that. Touch, touch, touch. That makes much more sense. That's a better channel. I wasn't a fan of that. It may be involved, but I think it's much better to concentrate on this. So we touch once, twice, 3 times, we're holding. If it does pull down from here, then it's confirmed that that's a channel. I'm happy with that. How long did it take you to learn the PAT system? I'm still learning, in all fairness. But to get to the level I'm at now, where I'm starting to make some money, a couple of months, over 2 years. And I'm quite obsessive about stuff. I put a lot of time and that into it. So it can take a while. It can take a while, and it's hard. It's emotionally hard. It's gonna cost you money. There's no easy way around it. It will cost you money, but if you believe in yourself, and you can earn a lot of money, if you believe in yourself, then it's worth doing. But it is hard. It's learning how these markets work, and then, learning the setups are relatively straightforward. Applying them to the correct context of the market is the real skill. So you've got that side to conquer, and the psychological side as well. It messes with your emotions. It takes you time to have those emotions day after day after day, till slowly you start to be able to manage them and they don't affect you the same. But if people think trading's easy, they couldn't have been further from the truth. It's absolutely difficult. But if you persist and you work hard and you don't give up, my belief is you'll earn a lot of money at trading. But it does take time. It's not a quick thing. I know people have been trading 2 years and starting to make money. I know people have been trading 5 or 6 years and still not making money. It depends on you, I think. It depends on how much time and effort you want to put into it. But you want to be trading something every day. I'd say a couple of hours at least, if you can. Depends on whereabouts you live in the world, and whether you've can put the time in, because it does take a lot of time. I changed my job around. I ended up working Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so I could trade for 3 days a week. So I actually committed to change my job. So. Okay, so touch. It's fitted nice then, it's dropping, so I'm quite happy that that's a channel. I do expect to get this measured leg. We're out at the bottom now. We've pushed back in a little bit and we've dropped out. So I'm quite happy now that I think our way now is down towards this. There's a leg there, 2 legs of correction and another leg. So that's where I expect to get to for sure. Now, there's always a possibility that we haven't finished going in yet. But I personally think we've tried a few times and we're going to go down now. So we could have a leg up, a break, and have another leg up, so it could still go in, but the way it's bounced off that line, I'm quite happy that we're going short. But I could be wrong. Sometimes the markets are really easy to read and predictable, and they just go where you think they're going to be, and other times they just surprise you. They just go places you didn't expect. So that's what makes them funny. Sometimes you'll have days with just clarity, where everything goes well. You think you've got a measured leg and it looks perfect and it'll go right to the nearest tick, and then you'll get other legs where it'll just bounce and chop and it'll be all over the place. Okay, so that would be a lower high. I'm still not sure whether the time to go short is right at the moment, because we've had a push in and we've had a drop, so we could get another push in. I'd like it to bounce again and then work down before I think about taking shorts, because it might surprise you. We've got a leg and a break. It could go up. Okay, nice little channel there, I think, with a break. This might just make a new high, or it could push in. Okay, so this now may pull in now, and we may actually come into the range and start to range. Okay, I'm just nipping to the bathroom. I'll be 2 minutes. Okay. Oh, dear me. Okay, so leg up, leg up. So it does look like we may be wandering back into the chart. Let's just put that there. I'm just going to fade this. Yes, I'm still peed off about that. God, it's annoying. How long did I take to learn it? I've been doing it for a couple of months over. Have I answered this? I can't remember. A couple of months over 2 years. I'm still learning. I think you're always going to learn. But I think I'm in a good place now where my accounts are starting to grow. And I would say another couple of months, and I will be at break even. I'll have made everything back I've invested into it. I've certainly got more than I've put into Apex, that's for certain. But I'd say hopefully this next month $4,000, the month after $4,000, and then I shouldn't move up to $8,000 a month on these 4 accounts. And obviously the next time we get a 80% off or 90% off, I'll start then to build them. But I'm in an okay place now. You know, you're always learning, and you know the best way to learn is to make the mistakes. You know, I spent such a long time getting trapped in trays, but the good thing about that is you learn after a while how to stay out of them, or for the most part anyway. Triple top. There. Yeah, the trouble is I'm missing this at the moment because we're pushing up and EMA's facing up. And that for me will be picking a top. I'm not a massive fan of those. I try and stay out of those at the moment. Reason being is because we've broken out of this bottom of this range, if that's where you call the bottom, and now we're pushing back in. So shorts I'm not looking for. Let's have a look. I mean, it is a triple test. If you think we're coming lower, I'd still like to break this, but the fact that we've pushed out that strongly, I'm just not interested in that really. It hasn't worked anyway. The bar's a bit naff, so a scalp short. I think that was probably a while ago, wasn't it? Yeah, there's nothing there at the moment. We're pushing in actually. In fact, I might open that up. Let's have a look. We may get quite a nice long push up there. That's a thought. I know what I haven't done. Oh, look at that. Where I've put that congestion is right where the market opened. How weird is that? So that's obviously played a part. Okay, perfect. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so I'm quite happy to get rid of that now. So it's just looking ranging to me there, with the exception of that. I'd say it's quite lightly. It's just a failed break out of the range. So let's bring that up to there. Perfect. Touch twice there, 3 times there, a couple of times there. Failed breakout, that's fine. So, be interesting now. There's definitely some resistance there. You can see it there, you can see it there, you can see it there, you can see it there. I'll be surprised if that doesn't cause us a break of this channel there. Support and resistance, you can't argue with that. Multiple places there, no argument. So I expect quite likely a break. Now, will I be looking to go long there? I'm not sure. Probably not, because we may not get above this. We may do, but it might just be one last ditch to push up, and then we may come down some more. I don't think we will, but I certainly don't really want to be going along into that. That almost looks like a spike in a channel. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's sort of quite unusual, that. We don't often get that. Yeah, little spike in a channel. So, we're going to come to some support in a minute. Could get something down here. And we may extend that. In fact, could come to this side and get something. Just out of curiosity, I thought I'd move it there and have a look. Okay, here comes that resistance. Let's see how we get on. Okay. Let's see what happens now. We haven't hit the level. Well, you'll be looking and say, I'm assuming that question's at me. If I can get a second entry long here, and saying if, you've still got to be careful because we've struggled to get this, but if I can get something here on something like this, I'd like to get out before that wick starts somewhere around about there. I usually find a safer bet. So whether we will get something here or not, I don't know. I'm looking on the 1,000 tick chart, but what we need is it to stop now and come down again. It's trying to push higher, so no, it's not going to give us an option, I don't think. Come on down. You have got to be careful you don't get trapped, because there is a possibility you might not get above here. This just might be the top where it rebounces and comes back down. See, if you look, we've opened here a little bit of sideways, we've pushed up, more sideways, we've pushed down, more. We seem to be sideways here, so it's a bit, excuse me, it's a bit hard to make the right decision here. Long could be risky because it's clearly bounced off here and come down. It's happened twice So you sort of triple test really could be here. So you've got to be so careful. So then there is a possibility it could come up and retest this before it bounces. So if we can see a decent entry. But you have got to be careful you don't get trapped going short, going long, trapped to the short side. I'd like to see that lower high trigger first before I think about where I'm going. Okay, there is a failed second entry long starting on the 1,000 tick chart. So if we can trigger that and then push up, because it's probably likely on the 10,000 tick chart, sorry, the 1,000, there's probably likely going to be some shorts triggered there. Unfortunately, I don't want to go long above that because it doesn't, I was hoping we'd have a failure which would trigger, and then because it is holding price, so try and go one strike twice. This is a failure. Now it's triggered that bullish bar there. Be interested to see what happens. But you have got to be careful going long here. If something doesn't look right at all, you're best off just not taking it because it could just come down. I mean, we've been up here once, came down, up here once, came down. Just because we're close, not there, doesn't necessarily mean we're going to make it. It just, it's whether people feel it's worth a long entry up to retest it. It might not. It may just keep coming down. It may just tumble down. I mean, if you look at that, depending on how you look at that, if you say that channel's valid, we've actually had a break and a new high. So it's actually played out. So, I think the second entry long is the risky one. I think the higher low is the better option if one is available, but you may not even want to go long into that. There's a failed second entry long, which is triggered on the 1,000. It's come down about 4 ticks, something like that. So you haven't, in fact, you haven't got a point on that, 3 ticks. So it may work. Possible second entry long, but you have got to be careful. I'm a bit on the fence this one, because we are so close to these highs. It could trap you and come down. If it finishes bullish, I think it's likely, but I think it's risky, because we have had a small break and a new high, and it is very close to that area where it's bounced off before. So I might sit this one out. Trouble is, it depends how you assess this. Bar's finished a bit neutral in all fairness. Yeah, I'm kind of glad it's finished like that because I think it's risky. I mean, if you look at the 1,000 tick chart, it's had a small break and a new high, and it's made 2 attempts to go higher which have failed. So it may trigger some longs and drop, but I think personally, from me, I'm not getting involved in here. In all fairness, second entry long, it's a neutral bar anyway, so it's for me. I've no interest in that. Sorry, you're long. Yeah, I think it's risky. I do, and I hope I'm wrong for your sake, mate. Yeah, the bar's just. Oh, you're a long bias. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit on the fence here. We have pushed up strongly, but the fact that we've got within a tick or two from there could be enough to not interest buyers to push it up any higher, because we've already got close to it. It may just rack right up. You just don't know, but it's just not a trade I feel comfortable with. I'm not a fan of it. It is a second entry long, but the bar's neutral, and I don't like the way that's gone up and come down. It may work, but I think it's a bit risky, because it looks like that type of area, especially if you look on the 1,000, which could trap some longs and come tumbling down, traders thinking we're going to push higher, but I don't like this. There's a lot of congestion, so that might just be slowing it down. And in the end, it may just push up strongly, but in my opinion, it's risky to trade here. That's just my opinion. But we all see things slightly different, and we've all got to make our own judgment ultimately. But for me, I'd say it's more likely going to work, because we've had two legs back, and it has bounced off the EMA, although it's a crap signal bar, so I'm a bit on the fence. It may push up a bit and trap yet and then drop down, but for me, I've got no interest in this. I feel like I'm in a good place at the moment, that I can look at a setup and I either like it or I don't. If something doesn't look right, I'll leave it alone, and in all fairness, it's working well for me. But if you get a nice second entry, it's just obvious. There's something about it. When you sit enough of them, you just know. No, blipping no. Same here. It's just a bit risky. It might work. It probably will. And the reason I say probably is because we've had two legs back to the EMA. It just might be a naff bar, but I'd say there's going to be some traders sat here thinking, not sure if I want to get in this. And if there's enough buyers going, I'm not sure if I want to get in this. It won't push up. But, different time frames make a difference, as we know. So on both my time frames, there's no setup. Now, if we are back in a range, it could push right up to here. But you can clearly see it struggled to get up there. It's been up there once and failed, a second time and failed, and a third time and failed and dropped. So we know that's an area of interest that we are struggling to get up. So as a trader, do you really want to buy into that, or do you want to sit back and go, actually, I'm not so sure about that? Yeah, I mean, I'm not arguing. We've had two nice legs back. Clearly, one leg, two leg, and that's what I mean. It'll probably work, but once you get to this area here, in my opinion, it's going to struggle a bit. So let's go a tick above that. So at the moment, you'd have got a 0.5 out of that. I mean, as you know, I usually go for 2 points. Obviously, the circumstances. If we had a second entry short down here with a long down here with a beautiful setup and we got 4 or 5 points, then I may go for a bit more. But you went long 43.78. You went long here. 78. Yeah, there's nothing for me there really. Especially after we pull back, we could. Excuse me a minute. Oh, on paper, absolutely. To be fair, mate, I go long there on paper. Guerrilla Traders kind of trade there. There. Yeah, and knowing him, he'd probably jump in here, which if you're going to go long on a bar like that, in fact, wait for this one to... Yeah, he doesn't often go for a long above a signal bar. He tries to get in lower. And in one way, the way he trades, I think it's sensible because he'll probably only risk a point there. I like the way he trades. I do. He goes for a lot more points. But you've got to have nerves of steel because you're going to lose a lot more trades. And, you know, if you've been doing it 5, 6, 8, 10 years and you're making a shed load of money, then... you know, losing trades aren't really going to affect you so much. So if your strategy, the bigger picture is maybe get a 50% win rate, but you get in, you know, 3-1 or 2-1, then it's a winning strategy. But it means based on that, you're going to lose half your trades. And I still hate losing trades. I don't know whether, I mean, you'll get used to it, but you know, if I've got 10 PA accounts, which I haven't at the moment, but if I had with $10,000 each in each, you know, risking $200, if you think, you know, we're going to take a long leap and you're going to make some money, it's not a problem. But it, you know, it's relative to can you afford to, you know, what's your, because when I started trading currency, people talked about 1 to 3% risk with the average maybe 2%. Lots of institutions and that risk 0.5% or 0.25% in some cases, but obviously the less risk, the more you don't mind, you know, letting your trade go ahead and see what happens. Okay, so I did say it would probably work. Unfortunately, whether you think it's going to work or not, certainly with my strategy, I can't take that bar because it's a, you know, it's about as neutral more or less as you can get. Although there is 2 legs down there, but you know, if we had a massive uptrend and that sat right on the thing, then that may be a different story. But the context to me is we're finding resistance here, and it may be enough to keep long traders out of buying there. But as I mentioned earlier, we are in a range, so it could well work right to the top. I just don't know. Also no room to the highs. Yeah, it's risky. So what time is it now? In fact, I didn't realise it was as late as it is. I might knock on the head in a minute. I'm just pleased I've got a trade. Unfortunately, when my internet went, I never reset my Replicanto, so I got 150 instead of... but I'm pleased that I haven't seen a setup yet on, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't seen a setup on the 2000 tick chart, but on the 1000 tick chart I have. Wherever it is. Where is it? There. So we got a leg down. I like the way we've broken below here. We've come back and retested it a bunch of times. We pushed up and that bar dropped nice and quickly, which tells me above here there's going to be some shorts, and it is a second entry short, and I love the way it's retested that bottom, and as soon as that triggered, came right the way down for, I don't know how many points would you have got out of that. Where's the oh, there we go. So it went down, well, it went further, didn't it? I got out for 6 ticks, which was there. And I kind of like that because one more tick below there and then it comes back before it drops again. And I like to get out on that first push. But obviously it never closed below there, so it did. I mean, if you'd happily sit in it, you know, it would have gone for 10 points, but really, you want to be out before it comes back, or I like to get out on that first push because when it comes back, well, we all know how it feels when you get in a trade and it starts to come back on you. It's not a nice feeling, is it? You know, I know people say, yeah, take your trade and then commit, forget it, let it run out, but it's not quite as simple as that, is it? The emotions get the better of us, and when it starts to move back, it's quite not a nice feeling. So this is looking quite bullish now, I think. We're going to push up, second entry long. Unfortunately, not a brilliant bar, but I'm not a fan of where it was. But we look like we're testing the top of this now, so there might be an option for another push up. I think there probably will. So we pushed up, second entry long, push up, push up. So there you go. So that's it for today, folks. I'm hungry, actually. I've not eaten much today, so I want to go and have my dinner. But I'm pleased with how today's gone. I'm pleased that that 1,000 tick chart is as useful as I thought it might be. I've got one trade today, which clearly wasn't on the 2,000 tick chart. There was 2 trades on Friday, which clearly wasn't on the tick chart. Same with Thursday and same with Wednesday. So I'm pleased that, you know, maybe I've found a way to, you know, adjust things so they work in my favour, but I am struggling to find good quality setups. Markets have been tough lately. Now, some people still think they're okay, but it depends on what type of trade you take. I'm not a fan of picking these tops, so that will take me out of the odd trade here or there. Although I am trying to monitor them a little bit, but you know, but in all fairness, if you can get one trade a day, even for, you know, 1.5, that's $750 on average a week. Even just one, let's say you get a couple more and you have a couple of losses, that's $3,000 a month. You have 10 accounts, that's $30,000 a month. You have 20 accounts, that's $60,000 a month. So, you know, the potential is there to earn a lot of money, but you need to have the option to at least make a trade a day, you know, or at least even 5 trades on average over the week or whatever. But I've been struggling lately, but now I've managed to find a way on this 1,000 tick chart. It's given me an option to just have another way of earning. So there is a possibility of a second entry long. Just going to sit tight for just a second. So we've pushed above that congested area. Let's see what we're getting here. It's all right. We've got a push down and a first entry on the 1,000 tick chart. So we've got a leg up, 2 legs of correction. I think it's certainly feasible we could have another push up. Let's have a wee look. When do you think you could see a 90% off? Well, in all fairness, mate, I'll tell you what I think. I thought we'd have had an 80% off by now, and I'll tell you why. When they have the 90% off, I'm affiliate, as you know, and sales go up by tenfold at least. So by having the discount they've got at the moment, my honest opinion, they won't be making nowhere near as much money. But what I will say is we've got Labour Day on the beginning of the month, beginning of September, which is a week and a half away. So I would say leading up to it, usually they do it leading up to it. So I would say, they've said this current discount has been extended to the end of the month. But I'll be surprised if it lasts that long. But I would absolutely say you'll get a good discount over the beginning of the month, which is only 10 days away. So in all fairness, the more you sit tight and don't take evaluations at 50% off, the more chance they've got of keeping their discounts low. Because if lots of people are taking discount, you know, if you want to go and do your money, you use my affiliate link, I'll make some money out of it. But I'd rather you wait, in all fairness, because it'll benefit us all in the long run. And what we want really is a good regular discount, and we've been having it lately, but obviously the last sort of week or two, it's been a bit slim pickings. So in my honest opinion, I'd sit tight. So let me have a look. I think they will have a nice, absolutely. That I'm pretty confident of. Okay, so there may be an option to go long here. I think this may be a spiking channel, something like that. Let me just put that there. That kind of fits okay, so maybe a higher low or something. There is a second entry long on the 1,000, but it's below the EMA, so I'd rather wait for the higher low. So the straightforward second entry, on the 1,000 tick chart would have made a 1.5. So, but I'm just waiting for the higher low, really. If I get nothing here, I'm knocking on the edge for the day. But yeah, we have a new high here, but if we're in a range, we've broken out the bottom of the range, so it's feasible we could do the same at the top, which is why I'm waiting for the higher low. But you've got to be careful here, obviously. But the higher low on top of here may be an option, I don't know. But it is going slow, so I've got to be careful. So we've had a leg up, 2 legs of correction. Oh, you really? There's nothing wrong with that, mate. There's nothing wrong with that at all. See, I rush mine, admittedly, and I'm going to blow a lot more. But if you've got the patience to sit there on an evaluation, that will aid you when it comes to a PA account. Because if you've got the patience to trade, a $25, $30 evaluation, then that's a good sign. That is, it just means when you come to the real money with the PA accounts, it means that you should find it even easier to be careful and to trade that the right way. So that's a star on your part. That is, so anybody can do that, and I wish I could really. I get a bit impatient really. I know a lot of people do trade them a bit more. Okay, so the second entry long on the there's a second entry long there, clearly worked, but I didn't want to take it. Now I've got this as a spiking channel. You may not have it the same, but there was a nice second entry long, but it's under the EMA. EMA's a bit flat, so I'd rather wait for the higher low, but it clearly made more than 2 points. So second entry long there, leg and a leg, nice looking leg, but that was there on the 1,000. Nothing on the 2,000, so that's another area that you can see. What's the prop firm you're talking about? Possible discount. We use Apex. I think most of us use Apex. In my honest opinion, Apex just can't be beaten. They just do the best offers, and don't worry about payouts. I've had payouts from them, but they do great discounts. Usually they've got one now, but their best discount is around 90%. So for a $50,000 evaluation, it cost about $16, and the 80% is about $33. And for the most, they've usually got 1 or 2 of them on. But they have said this current discount, which is 50% off, and also 50% off resets. This is till the end of the month. I'll be surprised if it lasts that long, because they're not selling nowhere near the amounts, and I know that because I'm an affiliate with them. So when you guys spend and you buy these, I get a cutback. I get I think about 10%, 15%, something like that. So I can see the difference in how many you guys spend compared to when there's the discount. So if I notice it, Apex will notice it. So, okay. So, yeah, there was a second entry long on there, but at the moment, I'm not a massive fan of this, although it's looking better. Spike and channel, which is, you know, even with a second entry long there, I'd be a bit disinclined to just, because of this area here, what I'd prefer is if we get a second entry long down here well above it, then that might be of interest, but I think it's a bit early to take even the second entry there that's on the 2000 tick short, although it did work beautifully for about what does it go for? 2, 4, 5 points so far. Apex Trader Funding, yeah. There's a bunch of firms out there, but I've been using Apex now. Second entry short, yeah. What you got to think about is we're going up at the moment, and we're probably going to come back here, but we may shoot out the top. So you got to be careful shorting at the top. I know it's the top of an upturn, but you've got to be careful. General rule of thumb, certainly with the strategy I use, is you don't count a trend trade, so you won't really be going short. It doesn't mean it might not work. Just trying to think if there's a see, that is also a possibility, that there is a two-tiered channel, and funnily enough, we've gone from those first. Normally you would go from those first two swings, and that fits perfect. And then look what's happening there. Is that random? I don't think so. Where's it all working? In this top tier. Where's it bouncing off? Midline. What does that tell you? For me, I think it's likely there's a two-tiered channel. So if you get a second entry long off here, you've got to be careful, because a lot of times it'll trap you, come back to this side and start working up. I'm not saying it is, but I think there's a good possibility that that's a two-tiered channel. So what does it look like on the 1000? Yeah, it doesn't look as good on the 1000, or does it? No, it doesn't look terrible actually. Yeah, see, a second entry short, that's an inside bar. They're very, very unreliable. It's not saying it's not going to work. Yeah, it depends on your strategy. Your strategy might call for trades like that, and if it does, absolutely. You know, there's so many different ways to trade the markets. Yeah, see, that looks kind of nice there on the 1000 tick. The wider doesn't fit as nice, does it? Doesn't fit nice on the 1000 tick. Bloody hate this. Oh, I hate when you do that. Oh, I hate it when it gets stuck. Anybody know how to move these? When they... Oh, shit. Oh, look. Oh, God, that's going to fry my goddamn brain, that is. Oh, does anybody know how to get to the top of that? Oh, I hate that. It's got stuck. there a way of close the tab at the bottom and open it again? That's the only way, isn't it? Trouble is, if I open it again, I've got to actually get rid of Replicanter, and that's the frustrating thing, and I've got to restart it, haven't I? Okay, that's okay, actually. Okay. Window button tab. Oh, is that do it, is it? Oh, okay. I'll leave that for next time then. So, new Flowbots Replicator. Okay. 24. Okay.
Order submitted.
Come on, well, this should, yeah.
Order cancelled.
Okay. So, possible second entry long. I'm always wary about taking second entry longs, just in case it is a two-tier channel, because a lot of times it can trigger and come back to this side. I'll remember that for next time, bud. On the keyboard, hit the Windows button and tab. I got you. Okay, it is a pain in the arse when that happens, isn't it? When you just get it out of sight. Yeah, and if it is a two-tiered channel, which is possible, normally, as we're pushing up, you will go off those first two swings. Well, that's right at the touch of that wick, and that's there. And funnily enough, if you extend this out, it's clearly touching on that line, and oddly enough, it's bouncing off the midline. So I'd say there is a good chance it may be a two-tiered channel. I'm a bit frustrated about that earlier. Oof. Oh well. What time is it? Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah. I mean, there's no setup anyway. But you just don't know. I think as your sort of experience grows and you notice things like this, it's just the fact that you're aware of it is going to help you. It depends how strong it is. Sometimes if it's a strong setup, a lot of times then yeah, it'll work. But if it's a slightly weak setup, it may just be a trap, and then it'll trigger you and then come down to this side. Or sometimes it'll do that if there's a slight overshoot. A lot of the time it'll do that and give you a second entry long and trigger you and come out this side. I've got trapped in them before, so he overshoots for sure are an option. See, that's a possibility. Also, it doesn't work on the 1,000 tick chart, but what does work is that. That works nice on the 1,000 tick chart. So, in fact, let's just fade that. So, touch, touch, touch. Clearly, little channel there, yeah. In fact, let's just get this out of the way for now. Touch, touch, touch. Yeah, I kind of like that. Possible second entry long here. The bit that's concerning me is we haven't come straight here. We've pushed up again, and we've pushed up strongly, and we've come back here, we've pushed up strong, but we haven't got, from here, we've pushed up to there. Second time around, we've pushed up to there. Third time around, we've pushed up to there. Third time around, third time around, we've only gone up so far. So that can maybe say to me, lack of momentum. So this, you've got to be careful taking this. Because every time we've come off here, we've pushed up there, we've pushed up there. This time we've only got so far, we haven't got to the top. So you've got to be careful going along here. You could get trapped. Maybe a little bit choppy here. It may go, but it might not go for far. I'm a bit nervous about this. Just the fact that it hasn't pushed up as high would make me nervous about going along there. I'm a bit on the fence here. For me, that's risky. It is a second entry long, but the fact that we haven't pushed up as high and we haven't got to the top tells me lack of momentum. So this could be a trap. You've got to do your own thing. You've got to make your own choices. But I'm staying out of this personally. So don't just do what I'm doing. I think it may trigger. It may even go for a point, but I think it's a trap. But it could rocket up. But for me, I just have that. I can pretty much look at a trade now, and if I just tell whether I don't like it or like it, and this is just a little bit risky for me. It may trigger it and then stop it out. In fact, it's triggered on the 1,000. Yeah, it's going to stop that out, that is. Yeah, I'll show you on the 1,000. Let's have a look. Yeah, bullish bar there. It's triggered on the 1,000. See what I mean about it's coming from here, and the first 2 times it's gone right up there. The third time, it hasn't gone as high. Normally, you'd expect it to come to this. So for me, it's lost a bit of momentum. So it may trigger, but I think it's a trap. It's a weak entry, in my opinion. But obviously, you've got to make your own decisions. It might rocket up. I could be completely wrong, but for me, I'm just sensing a little bit of caution here. Okay, I'm just going to see this one out, see what happens, and then I'm going to knock it on the head. May I ask on your PA, do you pay monthly? No, I do the one-off fee, mate, I do. And all of my accounts are around about 2 months old, so once you get to 30 days and you've got to pay again, you've already saved money paying the one-off fee. So, okay, so you'd have made 1.5 points so far. Yeah, you'd have got 1.5 points. It may go a bit more. I'm just not a massive fan. It's the fact that it just hasn't pushed up tells me we may be losing a bit of momentum. It could just rocket up. Okay, so clearly went. But it's looking sideways, see, isn't it? So that's the bit that's concerning me. So if it does come back into there and it's going sideways, it's a risky place to take a trade. Okay, so clearly worked. Okay, you don't want to get it right all the time, but if something looks a bit risky to me, I generally leave it alone. It didn't look any better on the 1,000 tick chart. In fact, it probably looked worse on the 1,000 tick chart. But there you go. That's why I say you've got to make your own decisions. So that is it for yeah, I'm just saying yeah, okay, so yeah, that's it for today, folks. It's been an unusually type of day. A bit frustrated about that, otherwise I'd have been up $600 over my accounts, but it's one of those things, isn't it? It's a, you know, anytime, Chris, anytime, but you know, I'm a bit on the fence there. It's a bit, you know, it's a bit sideways. It could have done one or two things there, but you know, the momentum pushed it up. So that's what I'm saying. Don't listen to me. I'm probably overcautious now, if anything. But it just the fact that we've gone from there right to the top of the channel, from there right to the top of the channel, and this third time we haven't got as high. Sometimes that can mean we're losing a bit of momentum, and we could have just come up here, which would have triggered you and then stopped you out. But it's clearly worked. So there you go. So that's it. So at least I managed to get a setup that wasn't on the the 2000 tick chart. So that tells me the 1000 tick chart is assisting me. So that's good. So I'm pleased about that. That trade clearly wasn't on the on the 1000 tick chart. I'm getting confused now, but so it's helping. I had the biggest winner of the day, and then noticed. You say I was in. Oh, I've done that before myself. Yeah, it is frustrating, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, if I wouldn't have had this 1000 tick chart today, I wouldn't have even got the $150. So, you know, at the end of the day, if I'd have been on this 2000 tick chart, I wouldn't have had a trade so far. So at least I'm up that way. But it's one of those things, isn't it? But yeah, if I had stuck a load of my own money in there and that would have been my profit, I'd have probably been a little bit more peed off. But, it is what it is. So, okay, all in all, typical day, bit of sideways. A little bit unpredictable, but you've still got these areas of chop here, a little bit unpredictable. Same here, up here. It's hard to trade this sort of stuff, although we do look like we're pushing up. You just don't know. It can catch you out there, but sometimes the general momentum helps you out. But looking at it now, it's not terrible, but I know it's pushed up. So that's the... Excuse me a second. So that's it for today, folks. I appreciate all your comments. Hopefully you've got a bit of green today. I've got a bit anyway. So there we go. So have a great evening. Stay safe. And then I'll be back same time. We'll do it all again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.